We are live, and today we are in Bali, Indonesia, as you can see. It's going to be an interesting one. As you guys know, I don't really record these videos with any intention or planning, really. It's a lot of just off the dome, kind of what's going on in my life right now. A lot of these are just kind of like personal update journal videos, and I choose to share them to you guys. So, since the last video, it's been interesting. Obviously, we're still in Bali. I've gotten a lot more clarity on where I want to stay and what I want to do, and I think I do want to stay here for a while. I want to start off actually talking about that, if we will. We'll have a little increment talking about Bali, and then we'll talk about everything else. I've realized recently that a lot of people get very stagnant in Bali. A lot of people get very complacent because they realize that they've made it, and everything they want, a great gym, a great pool, restaurant, everything and anything, they have at their disposal. I'm an individual who, I'm not sure why, to be totally honest with you, I'm super desensitized to nice things. If I were to drive a cool car tomorrow, I wouldn't care, unless it's a Porsche 911 vintage. I really wouldn't care. If it was a super nice villa, I wouldn't care. If it was a bad villa, I wouldn't care. 3 weeks ago, I was staying in a hostel in Singapore because I wanted to be around real people, because a lot of business people can kind of be losers. Now I'm in a nice enough place, but it's arguably pretty cheap as well in comparison to the other places we stayed in. And it also makes no difference to me, except for the fact that the bathroom stinks of sewage. But retrospectively, it doesn't make a big difference for me if things are great or if things are okay, because I don't really operate out of a place of desperation, if you will. And I noticed a couple things about Bali. A lot of people get complacent here, and a lot of people get lost in the sauce. They make a good amount of money, 5, 10, 20K per month, and then they just stop to push. And a lot of it, and I've spoken about this in the past, is because a lot of people pedestalize finances as their main source of progression, if you will. I'm an individual who, I've realized recently, there's individuals who make a lot of money, and I've realized there's individuals that don't make a lot of money in Bali. I spoke the other day, I can't articulate myself well. The other day I spoke to a Harvard University lecturer, extremely intelligent, TED talker, everything. Like, I spoke to him in the gym. I also spoke to someone who is 21 years of age, reminds me a lot of myself. He's 2 years older, and he's doing about 100, 150K a month. And it's like, you meet a lot of people that are doing well, and you realize that the individuals that aren't doing well, you realize, wow, I cannot talk. You realize that the individuals that are doing well aren't typically, excuse me, I flew from Singapore yesterday, I flew to and from Singapore yesterday to buy the camera that you're watching this on, so I'm tweaking out. I realized a lot of the individuals that make good money don't make good money because they want to make good money. They make good money because it is a byproduct of the journey. And it sounds super cliche, but if something is cliche and you hear it enough, it probably means a lot of people believe it. They just can't articulate it too well. There are people who make a lot of money here. There's people who also don't make a lot of money. The ones who make a lot aren't particularly the ones who care the most about it. They still live a decent life. They still live the same quality of life I live, or the guy making 5K per month lives. They just do it because they want purpose and validation, and, if you will, passion project. Does that mean owning a construction company is passion project? No, but it's having a sense of purpose. The way I see it is we all have a certain amount of problems every single day. We have a specific amount of problems that we look at every single week that we have. It could come from the fact that you're unemployed and you're losing your mind because you have nothing to do, or it could come from the fact that you run a highly stressful or moderately stressful business. Either way, you're going to deal with problems. If you don't deal with problems, your mind will create them for you. And that's what I mean. That's what I refer to when I say being unemployed. There was a period in my life where my dad did not work. It wasn't too long. I'd never seen someone lose their sense of sanity so quickly and so easily. We all have to have problems to operate like humans. If we don't have problems, our mind starts to create some. I heard a quote recently, and I'll touch up on this as well in the future of this video. I heard a quote recently, and it refers to that the majority of the battles I faced in my lifetime, I faced multiple battles in my lifetime, majority of them didn't exist. Most of the problems we endure on a daily, weekly, monthly basis don't actually happen. We just make them up in our heads. And we believe they're real, but they're not actually tangible. It's not like we had a family member, God forbid, pass away. It's not like our country's in war. It's not like our politics are stealing all of our money. It's the fact that we have nothing to do when we're bored, or whatever it might be. Obviously, different people, different problems. I don't want to offend anyone, but a lot of the problems we have don't actually exist. And if they do, they're very temporary. And I realized this recently. It's like the guys who are making good money aren't typically the ones who care about the good money. They're the individuals who just want something to do, whether it's passion, whether it's validation, whether it's fulfillment, whether it's just to waste time so they don't do nothing all day and have problems. Desensitized from the money. And the beautiful thing about Bali is I've always been a big preacher of life maxing. I grew up with a lot of mental limitations being a kid, and I never really thought I'd be in shape. Now I'm getting in better shape, I'm getting leaner, and I already have decent muscle mass on, I'd like to believe. But this is the only place I've ever really wanted to get in amazing shape. This is one of the, genuinely, without a doubt, this is the only place I've ever actually wanted to be consistent with eating, with training, with health, with business. I'm not a very consistent person. I do things as I please. And I do things because I enjoy them, which is why I'm where I am in business, to be fair. But I'm not consistent. And I'm at a point where it's like I'm excited to go to the gym tomorrow. Yesterday, like I said, I went to Singapore to go buy this camera. 2 or 3 hours there, 2 or 3 hours back. And I was sleep deprived the entire day. I didn't go to the gym because I was in Singapore. Today, Sunday, I didn't go to the gym. I woke up late, made up for yesterday. Still making up for it, as you can see in the way I speak. And tomorrow, I'm excited to go to the gym. I don't remember the last time I said that. And it sounds so simplistic and it sounds so unimportant, but to me, it's important. The fact that I'm rewiring my mind to operate on a higher frequency, and I'm sure this is what the title will refer to, operating on a higher frequency. For you to become jacked, what I mean by frequency is for you to become jacked, you develop the habits and then you get there. For you to get rich, you develop the habits of a rich person and then you get there. You just do the things you would do if you're already there and then you get there. Good habits, if you will. And I'm noticing that I've normalized my higher frequency self. And what I mean by that is I'm doing what I would do if I was where I want to be. And now I've talked about Bali and I've talked about how much I love it and the fact of life maxing, and I have conveniences here. And yes, this country is run on third world people, which I hate the idea of, but I also tip really well. And I will say that I'm doing my part. It sucks. Like, it genuinely sits really bad in my mind. But I'm doing what I can. I'd like to believe I'm doing more than a lot of people, so I'm doing what I can. I don't know if you know much about Indonesia, but obviously the people that work here in the tourism sector don't have a lot of finances at their availability. They don't have the opportunities you or I do. And that also brings me to one of my points, which is we have an opportunity, why not see how far we can take it? In Bali, a lot of people are so accustomed to not pushing it as forward as they can. A lot of people sense progression as being in shape and making money. But they don't really look at the 3 pillars of life. We have health, wealth, and relationships. Yes, health is being in shape. Yes, wealth is making money. Relationships, yeah, sure, they have social lives. But there's aspects to it that I think a lot of people neglect in general and also here. When you look at it as in, okay, well, how do I develop wealth? You want to look at it and say, how far can I push it? I don't want to be the guy running a business doing 100 million a month, but maybe I can be the guy who's doing $500,000 or 5 mil or 10 mil a month. Seeing how far you can actually push it and can you really do what it is you want to do. Because you making 100K per month will put you in a position where you're able to invest more money and do more good and have more of a sense of security. As in, if you get properties, your family will be more secure in the future. If you don't get properties, you're not helping, you know? It's like different things like this. Health, wealth, and relationships. Regarding wealth, I mean the opportunity cost if you don't push it as far as you can. Health, it's like, where else in the world is it normal to have every single jacked guy in a jacked gym just be around you? You know, even in Marbella, it's like I was in Marbella at the start of the year. Yes, there were people in really good shape. Here, it's like different. And yeah, just being in an environment where everybody else is doing something big, you normalize your higher frequency self. You normalize the fact of being able to accomplish things. As entrepreneurs, a lot of us have the what if it doesn't work out, what happens if this, what happens if that mentality. But when you operate around people that don't say what if and they say, okay, well, in a worst case scenario, I lose everything, I make 10K per month tomorrow, then you start thinking, okay, it's not what if, it's how soon will I get to where I want to go? And what do I need to do? This place is great, and it's somewhere I think I'll settle down for a period of time. It brings me a lot of opportunity and makes me want to be better. I don't pedestalize finances, which is why I understand we're going to scale faster than a lot of people, why we're going to accomplish our goals, and why I'm going to push, because it's not about the money, it's about everything else, the money will come. It's about the skill sets, it's about the client acquisition, it's about being able to endure the stress of 100 clients in an agency, for example, is something I see the value in learning. Being able to record content, spending 5K on a camera, that now I can go and record short form top of funnel content to get more client acquisition, for example, for the coaching company, is like a skill set I want to learn. You become valuable. You are perceived by the environment, or you're perceived by society based on your skill sets and your value you bring through your skill sets. I want to push that as far as I can so I can do whatever it is I want to do whenever it is I want to do it. Great location. Moving forward, business. The coaching company is doing decent. We could definitely do better. We just started running ads for the B2C, which is like business to consumer, business to customer. We started doing well on that. We're going to see how far we can push it. That in the next couple of months should get to 100K per month revenue. Pretty good margin as well. Better than industry standards, or I guess like business standard margin. But yeah, pretty good. Have a team, being able to take care of them, being able to progress in a lot of skill sets, being able to have an amazing product with a 100% success rate is great. I got like 6 "you've changed my life" messages in the past 2 days, and it's actually insane. Like it's not fathomable for the average mind to have people that are your age or older than you say, "Hey man, I appreciate you for changing my life." But it's also not fathomable to think that I'm doing. Somebody asked me yesterday, do you think that you've lived multiple lifetimes? And no, for me, obviously, in my mind, I'm just living mine. But I'm doing so much that I don't even realize it, that my subconscious hasn't even caught up yet. It's very weird. Changing a lot of lives. B2C is good. In regards to the recruitment and management agency, we just launched a new scheme. It's insane. I'm not even going to say what it is. But we should rip very soon. As in, I wouldn't be surprised if we had 100 clients by the end of the year. And what that means is 100 clients paying a retainer of 3 to 4K a month, or equity in the business, or like revenue share, if you will, because we help like e-learning companies. And it's crazy, man. We cracked a code. It's the first time in my life I've had momentum, it's the first time in my life I've had momentum and my bad habits weren't holding me down. And I think it's purely environmental and purely self-reflection. When you operate on a time zone, my partner, for example, for the recruitment and management agency is in the UK time zone. When you operate on a time zone where everybody's asleep during the day and then at night you do your work, obviously I still do work during the day, you realize how much time you have. I check my phone 10 times in the first few hours of the day, no messages. And it's so absurd and so abnormal and so surreal. Feels like I'm unemployed again, but it gives me so much time to think and ponder and come up with schemes and come up with ways to acquire more clients and make the product better. It's beautiful. Majority of what I'm doing now is, and I don't love the saying, but it's like visionary growth strategy. And it sounds so vague, but it is so vague. I could work on an automation for a client for like 30 minutes, but then I could also go and come up with a scheme on how we're going to sign 300 clients in the next 3 months. But then I can, obviously not like 300, but it's so many different things. And it's all about putting people in the right positions and putting yourself in the highest leverage position possible. Cliche also, but it's true. We're in a very good spot, and I'm very excited to see how far we can push it and how much momentum we can endure. I truly believe, like I said, this is the first time I've had momentum that didn't instantly get dragged down from my bad habits. I truly believe we got to 40 a month without any momentum. We had tiny little spurts for a couple of days. I truly believe this will be the first period where we have amazing back-to-back months, change our lives, change our clients' lives, and make a lot of money. And it's not even about the money, it's about the case study. Being able to say you scaled an agency to 300, 400, 500K per month is like having a degree from LSE, which is what my partner is doing. He's doing both. But being able to say, I did this at 19 or 20, it doesn't even matter. You want to go into private equity, you want to go into different businesses, you'll be able to do so. Because you will have such a high perceived value by society. You'll have such a high income as well coming in to a degree. Obviously not like millionaire status, but being able to take home like 100,000, 200,000 profit per month. That's cool. There's something I'm doing, sorry, there's mosquitoes. There's something I'm doing called, someone I'm working with who has equity in one of my businesses has something called 30 under 30s. And it's essentially 30 things he wants to accomplish before he turns 30. He's like 19. I have something called 23 before 23s and 23 before 23. And there's a lot of interesting stuff. I think one of them is like take home 300K per month personal profit. Not that I care about finances, but obviously I understand the amount of good I can do by buying a house every single month. I truly believe we will be able to get there a lot further. Now, people talk about like entrepreneurs undergo seasons. 1 year is good, 1 year is bad. Another year could be horrible, another year could be amazing. It's, in my opinion, the opposite of a limiting belief. It's like, I forget the phrase for it, but it's the exact opposite of a limiting belief. It is a belief that helps you hold on and prolong the process of suffering so you can endure the pain and then reap the reward. Obviously, entrepreneurship is like a long-term game, but being able to have bad months and good months and bad years and good years and still be able to undergo it and go through it helps a lot. I've been very poor at articulating myself throughout this video. I've been stuttering a lot, saying a lot of the same words, mumbling. I blame it on the flying. I decided it would be a good idea to go to a country for a day, get a camera and come back. But I think I've done you guys a justice. I don't know if I'm using that phrase wrong, but I've given you an update on my mentality right now with business and where I think we're going to be in the next couple months, how many clients we're going to sign. I've given you a breakdown of location, how things are going. I have a lot of excitement right now. I know we can get really, really far. And I have a clear vision that I've had in a very, very long period of time. The last few months, I had a lot of subconscious ego that I wasn't very conscious of. And I don't like to admit it because I feel like I'm doing horrible, to be honest with you. But it's still somehow crept up on me. I stopped learning more. I've spent 30, 40K on mentors in my lifetime. Most of my knowledge, contradictory to belief, has come from YouTube. Not even courses. Like courses, modules was good, training was good, all that stuff. Most of my knowledge has come from YouTube because I was like, just wanted to learn it, more curious, more opportunity, more perspective, etc., everything. I stopped watching YouTube the last few months and I wasn't sure why. And I realized, I think maybe it was subconscious ego. I've been watching a lot more, learning a lot more, increasing my own self-value and self-worth and coming up with ideas to push the business forward. So things are looking good. Things are looking bright. I'm excited to see where we go. What I have realized, and I'll leave you guys with this, is I have the wealth side being worked on. I have the health side being worked on, but I'm working on the relationships. I have people around me, I have friends around me, but I've realized I don't have a private life outside of entrepreneurship. And it's something a lot of people don't talk about, but the guy I met who's doing like 100, 150 a month, who I'm friends with now, he has a girlfriend, he has his business, he's getting in better shape, he's in okay shape, and he has nothing else going on. He doesn't have a personal life. And I realized that could be me, because I had the thought of I don't have a personal life. A few days after I meet him, and I realized that could be me if I don't lock in and understand that I need to work on everything. Dream might come up, and I'm still coming up, that's a given. But when I was younger and I was trying to make money, I thought you had to sacrifice everything to do one thing. And I realize now, you don't need to sacrifice everything. You can also have balance. You can have the good in different things. There may be periods where you need to suppress the amount of good you have in X to achieve Y. But you can have balance and you can do well and grow in multiple different aspects. It's probably healthier to do so, and it's probably more sustainable to do so. If you go through spurts where all you do is business and you neglect everything else, I don't think that's sustainable, and I think you're going to burn out. Stop looking at things from a monthly perspective. Start looking at things from a yearly perspective, in my opinion. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that update. I'm going to try to figure out how to upload this on YouTube, but I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.